If you're sitting there wondering, why do I need a personal loan application form? The form is so easy to fill out. I want you to think again, because according to a recent research report from the Federal Reserve Board, 63% of Americans, did you hear that? 63% of Americans make mistakes on their loan application forms, and those mistakes lead to loan application rejections and delays in processing the form itself. So in today's conversation, I want to give you personal loan application line by line instructions. I will share with you how to fill out the form, mistakes to avoid, and hacks and tips for 100% approval. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee, or tea, or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to share with you personal loan application line by line instructions. How do you properly fill out the form, mistakes you should avoid, and tips and hacks for 100% approval. Before we get into the actual step-by-steps, let me just say that in today's conversation, I will share with you 3 types of loan application. So we have a loan application from a traditional bank, we have a loan application from a credit union, and a loan application from an online lender. It's important because those loan applications have similarities and differences. So it's important to know what is what and how to navigate each of them, okay? And one other thing I need to say here is that make sure that the information you put on a loan application form is similar to what you have on your tax return. Because the last thing you want is to have, let's say, the IRS audit your ass because you have dichotomous information. You have information that is dichotomous from your personal loan application and your tax return. You don't want that. You want no conflict, no divergence, no sort of a difference between what you have in your tax return and in your loan application form, because the lenders have the capability to request data from the IRS and vice versa, just to ascertain that whatever you have on your loan application makes sense and is true. And I also want to say 3 more things before we get into the actual step-by-steps. So when we speak about a loan application form, the lender wants to have 3 proofs. So proof of identity, proof of income and employment, and proof of address. So proof of identity, they might want to they might be satisfied with a driver's license, passport, state issued ID, certificate of citizenship, birth certificate, military ID, or your social security card. That's fine. For employment and income, they want to verify your pay stubs, your tax returns, your W-2s and 1099s, your bank statements, your employer's contact information. And if you are self-employed, you can usually verify your income with your bank statements, your 1099s, your income tax returns. Proof of address, you can submit your utility bill, lease or rental agreement, mortgage statement, proof of insurance on your home, lease, rental, or a vehicle, voter registration card, property tax receipts, and bank or credit card statements. Let's now get into a bank loan application form. So here I am just showing you a typical bank loan application form, and this is courtesy of a FNB bank. And so let's get into it. So personal loan application form, you can see here you have to check the first 3 boxes. You have to check 1, whether you're applying for individual credit as an individual or a co-borrower with a co-borrower. So if you want to do a co-borrower, you just have to click the second box. You put the applicants and the co-applicants. And let's move on. So you put the first name, last name. That's easy, right? How long you've been at the address, the zip code, all that kind of stuff. So you do this for your current address and your immediate previous address. Very easy. You put your social, your driver's license number, your date of birth. Easy. Now let's move on to the right where it says amount of loan. So here you want to put the amount of loan, of course, but make sure you put the requested months, not the years, because lenders actually think in months because you're going to have to send them a check every month. So if you're looking for, let's say, 3 years, you want to put 36 months. This is important because this will affect the amortization of your loan, how long you're going to have to pay every month. Very important. And you put the purpose of the loan. Not all purposes are equal, so make sure you think strategically here. Okay, don't say that I want to do a big barbecue. This is why I'm looking for a loan. No, look, you can say something like big purchase. So be very careful on what you put on the line where it says purpose of the loan. And if there is collateral that you're offering, collateral means that you are offering something in return for the loan. So you're trying to secure the loan. So if something happens, the lender can come after you and go after the asset. They can repo it. And they're asking you here if you have ever applied for a loan with the institution. If yes, you want to put that. And you want to put also your citizenship status, put everything. Don't worry if you're not a citizen. If you're a green card holder, that's fine. But if you're not, you just can put a note. You can attach it to the loan application form and say, I have an ITIN. I'm a foreigner, but I have an ITIN, an individual tax identification number. That works also. And you want to put also your financial institutions, where you have accounts, savings account, what kind of account you have. Okay. And section B here, it says income and employment. Here you put information about your employer, your past employer, and your current one. How much money you're making. This here, it's important, folks. It is gross income, not your taxable income. No, this is the taxable income, but this is not your after tax. This is before taxes. Okay, put it on a monthly basis, and you want to put for your previous employment, or your current employment, put your position or title. Do not lie here because they can verify that very easily. Okay, and the section C where it says assets. You put your assets there. If there are other things that you want to put into account, you want the lender to take into account, put it there. This could be jewelry or antique. Make sure that you appraise the antiques. You can go to an antique appraiser and have the right information and put it there. That way, your total assets will go up. And this is kind of cool. In terms of income, I totally forgot. Remember that you can also put anything from alimony, child support, or separate maintenance income. You can actually add that here on the income section. I want to talk to you now. Let's move on here. We have a section D. We have liabilities and indebtedness here. They just want to know more about your loan. So here, all the information that you need to put here, it's important. Now, one thing that's very, very critical, you put the debts that you are aware of. That's fine. This is the opportunity where you want to check and double check and triple check your credit score, your credit report, to make sure you don't have any kind of a zombie debt or any kind of weird debt that is out there that you believe that you have paid, but it's just sitting there on your credit report. This is really bad. So this is the time to actually double check that. We always say before you apply for a loan, you want to check your credit, your personal credit history. It's important. Let's say you are a victim of a fraud or something happens, you have derogatory items on your FICO report. You want to clear that up before you apply for a loan, because the lender, among other things, is going to pay attention to your FICO score. So you want to make sure your FICO score is accurate. So here you put all the debts that you're aware of. You put the lenders. You put how long you have had the loan, how much is left, how much you're paying every month. This is important because they want to see here your debt to income ratio. The lender wants to see something called your DTI. DTI means the proportion or the portion of your income that goes to debt servicing. Here we are speaking again about gross income, pre-tax income, okay? And at the bottom here, you can see where it says asset to liability, the percentage. So this is kind of similar to the current ratio or the quick ratio that you have in business financial ratios, okay? They just want to see the coverage, how many times your asset can cover your liabilities, or if you have a positive net worth at all. Very important, okay? So section E, this is where they ask you about the joint applications. So if you want to co-borrow on this particular loan, you can input the info there. Then they need the same data for the co-applicants. This could be a spouse, another relative. You put this there. You want to specify what the person is, whether he or she is a co-applicant, guarantor, or endorser. We have actually we'll have another show where we will explain all those distinctions here. But for today's conversation, just keep that in mind. And you also want to, so the co-applicants must fill in the same information from their employment to their income and so on and so forth. And that's it. Once you do this, just sign and date. And the co-applicants must do the same thing. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about personal loan application form, line by line instructions, how to fill out the form, mistakes to avoid, and 100% approval hacks. Now, let me talk to you about a credit union loan application form. And for this, we have chosen the USPS Federal Credit Union. So here is the application form. So here, they're asking you what kind of loan you want. And in this case, you have to choose personal signature loan. Make sure you put a purpose that is legit. Don't get yourself denied because you put the wrong loan purpose. Okay, if you are scared about, you can make it general as well. Nobody needs to know the ins and outs of your life, so you can just make it general. You can say, I want to make a big purchase, all that kind of stuff. Okay, as long as the purpose is legit, of course. And the amount requested, the term again is in months. I've said this before, not in years. And your email address, you put this is a credit union. You need to have an account. You need to be a member before applying for a loan. So here they're asking you your account number. Put your first name, last name, put your street address, and your zip, all that kind of good stuff. And they want to know how long you've been at your current place, and they want to know your monthly income, your monthly mortgage payments, because this is important. Again, this goes back to what I said earlier about the DTI, the debt to income ratio. Lenders like to have a DTI that hovers around 35 to 40%. So they are going to compare your monthly mortgage payment with your monthly gross income, for example. And they want to have more information about your balance, how much you pay every month. They want to know also if you're a tenant, how much you pay in rent, and your date of birth, your dependents, your social, all that kind of good stuff. And now what they say is, they say here, present employer, your present employer. So this is put information about your employer, your job title, how long you've been there, how much money you're making. This is gross income. And the next section where it says joint applicants rather, they want the applicant to also fill in the same information that you filled as the primary applicant. This is, of course, if you want to co-apply. If you need a co-applicant, then yes. One thing I need to say here is that make sure that the co-applicant understand his or her role, whether he or she is a guarantor, an endorser, or a joint applicant. This is important because it has legal consequences. And we move it on here. So I want to show you now. You can see on the next screen here, it says overdraft line of credit disclosure. This is basically some legality. This is legal lingo that you don't need to read if you're not interested. But we love the fact that USPS FCU has put that here because, again, when everything is rosy and fine, nobody cares about the legal aspect of things. But when things start going sour, then that's when folks think about legality. So if you have a chance, you can read about this. The next section here says joint ownership. This is important. If you want debt protection, you put yes or no. Joint ownership is important because if something were to happen to one of the spouses or one of the co-applicants, the benefits, the assets should be transferred to the surviving co-applicants or the surviving spouse. So if you want debt protection, you can put in the info there. You can sign, and so should your joint applicants. You have to date also. Next, you can see here that they're saying, okay, this is what I was telling you earlier. So here you have Virginia and North Carolina designations, joint account with survivorship. it says very clearly that on the death of a party to the account, the deceased party's ownership in the account passes to the surviving party or parties to the account. So this is obviously, I can reckon that USPS FCU has some kind of interest in Virginia and North Carolina. That's why they have it here. But the content, the text is sort of analogous across the board when you think about credit union loan application. Those things are just legal. They are legal clauses. They just want to make sure that things are in place. If something were to happen, the bank knows where to transfer the money. The courts will enforce the laws. So here you have to sign date, and so must your co-applicants. And so you have joint account with survivorship and joint account with no survivorship. So with no survivorship, that means that on the death of a party to the account, the deceased party's ownership in the account passes as part of the party's estate under the party's will, trust, or by intestacy. Now we've covered this. We have actually covered all this will and trust and estate planning topics in several videos. So please go into our catalog. You can rate them, you can watch them, and everything should be fine. I want to talk to you now about the loan application of an online lender. So in this case, we have chosen LendingTree. Okay, and you can see on the screen here, their questionnaire is much more straightforward. So LendingTree, they are asking you, they have loans from $1,000 to $50,000. Here, you have to put the loan purpose. You have to click see personalized rates. What we love with online lenders is that they have the soft pull, the pre-qualification feature. Traditional banks don't have that, and neither do credit unions. But online lenders have that. I shouldn't say all traditional lenders. Some do, but the majority don't. So online lenders have that capability of giving you a pre-qualified offer. So let's move on to the next screen. You'll see here they're asking you, how much would you like to borrow? In our case, we put 50K. We were a little generous. It wasn't our money, but we put 50K. You have to click continue, and they ask you how quickly you need the money. So this is for them to know how to whether they should process your loan application quickly or just take their time, because usually, as you know, traditional lenders, banks and credit unions, they usually take up to 7 days, or in some cases 14 days. But online lenders know that they can make more money by being fast. So here we want the cash within 2 weeks. And remember, there's one thing that's very important. You can always call the online lender if you are you're going through an application and you are confused, or you're tired, or you don't really understand what's going on. You can always contact them. And in the case of LendingTree, you have 1-888-246-4181. You can call that number and have more information sent to you or explained to you. And now they're asking you what's your zip code. You have to put your zip code, click continue. And here they want you to know about your residence, whether you own, rent, or live with your relatives, for example. We chose I own my home. And here they want you to put your street address, your city, your zip, all that kind of stuff. Click continue. And moving on, here they're asking you to estimate your credit. This is something you only see with online lenders. No bank or credit union will ever ask you to estimate your credit. They will check your credit. And the reason why online lenders want you to estimate your credit is because they want their algorithm to know how to classify you as a risk spectrum among their risk spectra. And based on the data you give them, they will give you a pre-qualification offer. Okay. And so you choose, in our case, we chose a poor 0 to 639. And move on. You have to put your yearly pre-tax income. As you remember, everything is pre-tax, okay? Pre-tax income, click continue. And here you can see here that they're asking you your employment status, whether you're full-time, part-time, all that kind of stuff. You put whatever applies to you. Don't worry if you're a seasonal employer. If you seasonality will not disqualify you. If you're not a full-time worker, it's okay. As long as you can prove the income and that you can prove that you have a legit work, that's fine. Even if you don't have a bank account, you could qualify for an online loan. You just have to find a way to prove not only income, but also your assets. So here we just chose a full-time, and they want to ask about your date of birth. Put that, click continue. They're asking about whether you want to add a co-borrower. In our case, no. But yeah, co-borrower is kind of cool because it boosts your chances of approval. We all know that. Let's say if you have bad credit or fair credit, and you happen to know a relative who wants to back you up, and that relative has a FICO of 750 or 780. That's really cool. So that will help you get more loan offers. Okay, lower interest rates. So this is kind of cool. And in our case, we chose no. So move on. And so you need to create a password here. And this is because those online lenders, they want to have you in their system. They want to constitute a database. So even if they deny you this time around, they already have you in the system. So they will start soliciting you 3 to 6 months down the road just to make sure that now maybe your credit has improved in the meantime. Okay, so click continue here. They want you to put your email address, continue. And here they want you to put your phone number. Same thing. This is part of a process of accumulating data, which can be used later on. So click continue. And here it says what's your name, first name, last name. You put that, click continue. And here, so you have you have to click see your results. Now we did not click see your results here because obviously all the data we inputted was fictitious, and we didn't want to flood LendingTree's servers with spam or inaccurate data. But normally if you click see your results, you should see a constellation of results, and based on the maturity, based on the loan, based on the interest rate, your credit score, all that kind of stuff. You just have to choose. And at that time, see, they will not do a hard pull on you until you see the loan offer, you're comfortable with the terms and conditions. And if you say, I choose this loan offer, that's when the whole system starts, where they have to do a hard pull. And then if they're comfortable with your data, then they will send you a promissory note, and you have to sign that. Once you sign it, your money will be in the bank within 1 or 2 days. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was explaining to you personal loan application, line by line instructions, how to fill out the form, how to avoid certain errors, 100% approval hacks. So I gave you the loan application form for a traditional bank, for a credit union, and for an online lender. Thank you so much for your attention. I wish you the best of luck in your loan applications. May the Lord give you all the loan proceeds that you need to further things in your life. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.